All right, what up, folks? You know exactly what it is. Back to the weekly sector review. So finally through the 2 weeks of holidays. All right, we start a new week, first full week of January, starting off the new year, right? All right, we're just gonna jump straight into it. We're gonna start off with XLB materials. Now, this is one that I've been watching for a minute, and I've been liking. It's actually, in my opinion, has been gaining the tailwinds from the AI arms race. So looking at it, it looks very bullish, right? We're starting from the quarter, the month, the week, and then also the daily. Now, keep in mind, the quarter and the month are still coupled together. If you don't know what coupling means, please look up or search uncoupling. I no longer have that video on the YouTube, but I plan to redo it and remake it. So, but for now, just search up the strat uncoupling, right? The week is going to be uncoupled next week. But yeah, right now the week, the month, and the quarter were all coupled together. Next week starts a new week candle, which will uncouple from the month and the quarter as well, too, right? But overall, you can see bullish trend that we're seeing. Potential TTO back to the upside here. You're seeing that on over here as well, too, on the monthly. And then over here now, I'll be interested to see if we can get past this level here, right? Obviously, clearly some resistance showing here around 46, but if we can get past that, then yeah, we have next levels up at 47 and then up to 48, potentially 50 for XLB. Beautiful move on Friday, lovely little 2-2 reversal on Friday. I suggest you check out things like FCX and AA. I glanced at both of them. It looks like 60 is right around the corner for AA and 55 is right around the corner for FCX. So let's go ahead and go to XLC. Again, quarter and month are coupled together, right? Week will be uncoupled next week, but we have a shooter on the week again at all-time highs, looking like some exhaustion from the highs, right? After this pivot here, now we've made a lower high so far, so and a shooter on the week, so it looks like a 2-2 reversal. Friday was a big sell-off, right? Looks like we're gonna head to, at least 115.73 or potentially lower before any type of reversal. But yeah, I'll probably be looking at, what Meta's doing, what Google's doing as well too. I think Netflix has been dying off, but Netflix is currently at lows, so I'm not really sure how much further that one's going to continue to fall before it's about 2 weeks and change till earnings. So I'm not sure how long that one's going to continue, how much more that one's going to continue to fall, but definitely check it out. Disney, I think I saw there was like a 110 put. I don't know what it currently is at right now, but Disney was like a 110 put for March expiration, I believe. I saw that on Flow for Unusual Whales. Energy. Honestly, I have not touched it all year. When you look at the bigger picture, you look at this, it's just been kind of just stuck in a range, so haven't really touched it. I know what happened in Venezuela. Venezuela does have one of I think the number one oil reserves, which would mean that honestly, like more supply. So I would imagine that oil prices would go down. But we'll see. We'll see if this is something that actually helps XLE move and finally break out of its range. As of right now, I'm not really willing to touch it until I see something different. But yeah, the wicks have been doing damage, body's just been staying there. Not really, much movement there. XLF. So banks, yeah, banks have definitely been on one. And the higher time frames, obviously, you see the bullish run that it's been on. It is at all-time highs, right? So I'm not really willing to long this. Honestly, would look for more for a short. We'll see if I'll be watching if price ends up coming back in after taking liquidity here. If it ends up coming back into the range, then we'll be looking at BAC, JPM, etc. For some moves to the downside. Um, Friday, we did sweep liquidity here on the daily, I believe. Let me just double check here. Not quite. Well, still a double bottom, and we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. If anything, I would just be playing weeklies to the upside. I'm not necessarily gonna swing this long term. Because at a certain point, there needs to be some corrective activity. So I would hate to get in on a continuation and then it reverses and then you're stuck holding the bag. But overall, the big picture, it looks bullish. That's the overall big picture. But definitely going to need some sort of a pullback, in my opinion, before we start going for longs with later expiration dates. Let's go check out industrials real quick. Actually, let me clean this up. So industrials is actually another one that I've had my eye on as well too. Yeah, again, monthly and quarterly are coupled together. Nice hammer on the week. Beautiful 2-2 reversal. Looks like we're getting ready to TTO back to the upside above 158. So it looks like 160 is up. It's coming up next. It is at all-time highs, so there's always potential for exhaustion risk. There's a lot of sectors at all-time highs, really. But yeah, so far, lovely close on the week. We'll see what the next week brings, but nice little 2-2 reversal that we're seeing there. GE would probably be someone to watch. BA, of course, Cat, John Deere, those are definitely ones that I would definitely pay attention to. Tech. Um, so Tech actually finished the year, right? Because this is obviously, the new candle here, but finished the year finished the quarter up as a two up. Um, honestly, it looks like we're hitting all-time highs, a little bit of exhaustion when you look at it from the weekly. Since the pivot here, we've been making lower highs so far. So we'll see how that goes. But looks like with Friday's close, if we trigger Friday to the downside, then I like us to head back down to 140 for XLK for tech. So obviously check out your Apple, your Microsoft, and Nvidia is also included in that as well too. But I would more look at chip sector more so than XLK for Nvidia. Okay, let's go ahead and go to XLP, consumer staples. Yeah, so consumer staples, the way the quarter and also the month close, and then also the year, right? So basically hit all-time highs previous year. Um, well, technically 2025 previous year, but 2024's year came up, hit highs. There was your attempt to try to take out that high, failure. Came back down through the range. So it looks like we're looking for a 2-2 reversal this year, right? And it would make sense, right? Being at all-time highs, right? Exhaustion and then possible reversal back to the downside. So XLP is definitely one that I'll be looking at to potentially short. Go check out Walmart and Cost. There's also KO and a couple of others, but yeah, let me switch back to the quarter here. Yeah, last month was a fail two up, right? Fail two up, came back in through the range. So we're looking for a 2-2 reversal back to the downside. But yeah, making lower highs since this pivot here. Um, yeah, definitely something that I would look at potentially shorting. The week closed as a outside. Yeah, outside candle, bearish outside. So we'll see if we can get that to trigger to the downside. Then I like 75. Um, I like 75 for XLP. Again, check out WMT. Check out cost. Um, there's a couple others that KO, like I said, check them out. See how they if they fit into your strategy at all. Um, utilities. Utilities with the beautiful pullback on the week. Obviously on the month we closed as a two down. Quarter closed as a failed two. So honestly, I think what we're seeing is a manipulation before continuing to head back down. Doesn't mean that you can't take advantage of that, right? So because we're still making higher lows on the week. So, again, take advantage of that, but then I would not be looking to long for very long unless we get some sort of TTO back to the upside. So far, we had corrective activity, a nice little 2-2 reversal. That doesn't mean a TTO back to the upside. It could just mean manipulation, just like how we see here, right? Drop, manipulation back to the upside, only to drop further. So manipulation back to the upside to drop further. We'll see if that's how that plays out for XLU. Always keep a weather eye on knee, NEE, Duke, DUK, VST as well. We're gonna check out healthcare. Healthcare is one that I'm definitely watching um for sure. Looking at the way that the month closed, right? The month was a inside candle. But I believe if we draw, so for me, what I wanted to see is if the buyers were going to protect the 50% of October's candle on the month. It did. Hit the 50, rejected, came back up. So we'll see if that ends up being a 2-2 reversal back to the upside. This candle could have been, or this December could have been just a lot of profit taking, and then the buyers stepping their game back up. We'll see how that plays out. The weekly, again, if is a fail two as well too. It's bearish, but it's still a fail two. So far I'm not seeing anything that makes me want to say, okay, yeah, let's go bearish, right? Every dip has been bought so far. Looking at it on the weekly, and then even looking at what happened, how Friday closed as well too. So we'll see with this new week once it uncouples from the month. We'll see how that closes. But yeah, I like a 2-2 reversal. I like to see a 2-2 reversal on Monday, or at least stay inside, for me to, stay bullish. J&J is definitely one I have my eyes on. UNH, I think UNH is pretty beat up as well too. Um, Lily, I think, closed with the hammer on the week, maybe, I believe. Not quite a hammer, but still failed to on the week. I think Lily still has some more room to the upside. Lily should look good. Lily looking good. All right, so XLY. Yeah, so I don't really follow Tesla like that, but I think there was some bearish news. I won't say bad news. I think there was some bearish news for Tesla, if I'm not mistaken. Something, I think maybe the deliveries were lower than what was expected. Yeah, so the month again, current month is coupled with the quarter, but if you look at the previous month, right, here's your highs, right? There's your sweep of the highs. So honestly, I'm expecting to see downside. I'm expecting to see downside on the monthly, which obviously downside on the weekly, downside on the daily as well too. There's definitely some levels below that could be taken out. There's also a nice little gap. I mean, it's far down, but there's a nice little gap that hasn't been filled yet either on the weekly. So yeah, definitely you know, do your research, right? Make sure it aligns with your strategy. But yeah, I would not be surprised if we see some downside on XLY. What's in that again? HD, Ford, CCL, Amazon, Tesla, McDonald's. I feel like I'm forgetting another major one, but yeah, those are the ones. Those are the ones for now. All right. Just real quick, we'll take a look at chips. All right. So with chips again, we have a fail two up. But it's still a two up, right? It was still bullish on the month. We also have a two up on the week, and then beautiful gap up on Friday. Obviously, this could be a draw on liquidity here. Come back and fill that up. And we are at highs, so I'd be careful. We are definitely at highs, so I'd be careful. Potential exhaustion risk. If it continues to push, then I would look at possibly weeklies. I wouldn't be looking to want to go like swing for like 2, 3 weeks or even a month out, because again, because you're at all-time highs, there's definitely exhaustion risk, and leads to potential reversal. I would hate for any of you guys to get stuck holding the bag. Quick look at SPY. Again, like I said, the month and the quarter are currently coupled together. Failed two up on the month. 2-2 reversal, but a failed two. It's still a 2-2 reversal on the week though. Friday was a failed two down. Honestly, because of where we are in the range, at the top of the range, I would not be surprised if we see some sort of a pullback a little bit further. Honestly, we don't even have any real lows that have been taken out on the weekly, so we'll see. QQQ, yeah, so we're making lower highs on the weekly high. high, and high. Excuse me. And QQQ was a little bit weaker than SPY. We couldn't even really break the highs in December, just really stayed inside. So this is potential. Um, well, not potential. This is an actionable signal on the month, something I would definitely mark out. Previous monthly lows and previous monthly highs, but definitely mark out the previous monthly lows. I feel like if we lose that 600, then yeah, we're probably gonna head down to 580, and we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, Friday was I think it was a pop and sell off, if I'm not mistaken. So outside close on the daily for QQQ. So yeah, for me, I would be looking to short this, not necessarily to go long, even if it does push up. Again, I'm not trying to go long when it's already at the top of the range. Top of the range means that it's at premium. You don't necessarily want to go long when it's at premium. You want to go long when it's at discount. You want a short when it's at premium. So that's what I'd be looking for this week. Possibly 610s, right? If we trigger on a lower time frame, I'll be looking at the 610s or possibly 605 with some time, maybe into next week or something like that. And not next week, the week after. The week ending the 16th is what I'm talking about. Let's see, DIA. Good year. I'm sorry. Good quarter. My apologies. Good quarter. Failed two on the month, but still bullish, right? So nothing to be too alarmed about yet. It is at high, so yes, there's potential for exhaustion risk, but I like how I like how the weekly, took out previous week's lows and then again got bought up, just could not get it back to green. Friday was really a really good push. Nice little sweep of previous lows here, right? Nice little sweep at 479.41. Ends up being a failed two down. Actually, no, actually, that is an outside candle, if I'm not mistaken. So end up going outside. Nice little rev strat. If you zoom in on the 4 hour or even the hour, you'll see that rev strat, that reversal there. But yeah, outside candle's a rev strat candle. Reversal candle. So looking for a 2-2 reversal. We can get back up to 487, take that and hold, then I can see us continuing to push up. If not, then it's probably manipulation, make a lower high and then fall even further. Let's get rid of you. And then IWM. All right, so with IWM, close that out. IWM last month reached for higher highs, did failed, ended up as a bullish shooter. Um, yeah, well, I see how that, but honestly, like with where IWM is right now, um, yeah, better risk to reward to short it. I'm not inherently bearish. I'm neither bullish nor bearish. I just take whatever the trend is giving. But yeah, like the week closed as a 2-2 down. Looks like we just swept here, swept the previous low, but yeah, even if we push up higher, that's that 252, 252 through 255. I would want to see it get through that and hold, honestly. If not, then I would expect it to probably reject around like 252 again and then start heading back to the downside. We shall see. All right, make sure that you are checking the economic calendar as well too, right? Let the market open. I know there was a lot of news about XLE, specifically Venezuelan oil. Let the market open on Monday. Swing traders especially let that first hour go. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what's rushing and what's running up or whatever. Don't get fooled into jumping into that stuff. Just be patient. Yeah, I'll see y'all next week.